Hello, welcome to We Have Issues. I'm Anthony,
And I'm Stevie Wildcard.
and every week Steve Wildcard and I get together and we do our best to overcome the various issues and obstacles and existential, punches in the face that life throws our way, and we do our best to get something done, like make creative things. Most recently, we've been working on this D&D inspired, like modern day fantasy action comedy book called Deathless. We've kickstarted two issues now. We finished issue two. We are now working on issue three. Steven, I know this week was Christmas. We didn't really plan on
Mm-hmm.
working on anything or doing anything. But did you
Yeah.
do anything?
No, I didn't really do anything at all for comic related stuff aside of like daydream about like panels and stuff like that, which I'll
That's
usually read the script and daydream, but
It's work. It's work, and I like that. Like my words inspire dreams, Steven. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm going to take from this. So what I did, everyone, what I did this week was I inspired an artist.
you had a rallying cry constantly playing in the background as
That's
my
what I did.
life
That's
existed.
what I do. So, but every week we get together and so we usually start our show like that, where we talk about like what we did this week. Then we get into some life stuff, what got in the way, like and that kind of stuff. This week, Stephen, I do want to talk about a few things. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm feeling old. First of all, I'm not feeling. I hate talking about this. Okay, you ever have like like an insecurity and you're like, oh, you know what I should do? Never say this to anyone, because if you say it, they're gonna try to, because they're only a few responses and they all suck. Right? Like there are very few good responses to like your personal insecurity. But I think what I want is just to like get it out and be like, hey, if anyone else is feeling this, or like like I don't know what I want, Steven, but I'm feeling like I look like crap lately. I'm feeling like and it sucks. I don't want to feel. I think I'm feeling it more so because I'm single and getting older, and I'm just like, that's not a good combination of things to
It's
be.
a scary cocktail.
It is. It's like I'm just gulping this down. I'm gonna
That
have
was actually a really good play on words if you think about it. A scary cocktail. Like it's a scary tale for your and it's also like, a drink, like it's a scary combination of things. And that was good. That was unintentional. I was just going for a beverage there, but I'll take cocktails. Woo!
So every day we're out there making cocktails. And no, dude, but so I don't know. Like recently, I've just been feeling like I'm not dating. And it's not like not no like, oh, I really wish I could be dating thing. I'm like, I deleted all my dating apps. I'm not looking for anything like that directly. But as everyone seems to know but me, that's when like that kind of stuff happens, right? Like that's what everyone tells me. They're like, oh, it's when you're not looking. And I'm like, you okay, fine, whatever. Um, and I think they're wrong. I think they're right. But I will say, like, dude, I did have a thing. I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about this because like it's not a thing. It's a non-story, right? I still wanted to talk about like feeling older and insecurity and stuff. But I'm gonna get it. Just like put a pin in that real quick. Put a pin in my elderly, dying, decaying flesh,
My
meat,
rotting corpse.
the rotting corpse that you see before you. Just my Mr. Burns. Put a pin in my Mr. Burns. And Steven, we've talked about this in the past. First of all, I don't know when people are flirting with me. I can't tell. I can't. And I know people are like, and like, here's the thing. There are a lot of people out there right now who are like, how do you know when people are flirting with you? The thing that you're describing or imagining when I say flirting is like someone coming onto you or like hitting on you in some obvious way, which like you've seen in movies, and like maybe it's happened to you. Maybe it has. That doesn't happen to me. The flirting that I have experienced in my life that I know because it like has eventually led to something somehow, are always like little fun conversations that like kind of have like a tinge of like, oh, are we both interested in each other and as more than friends? We don't know. Oh, we're gonna keep having this like fun
This little
conversation.
playful dance of
That's exactly what it is. It's a slow, playful dance. Like towing that line of like platonic versus romantic. Like you don't know until you cross that line. Like, oh well, here we are. Like, oh, I said a thing. Is that okay? I don't know if it's okay. It's okay. You like that? You were hoping I said that. I did say that. Yes, we did it. Like we made it without
the,
like.
the worst peacocking ever. Like we couldn't have just had feathers to make it so obvious. No, we have to play
I
this
would
weird gamble of
what I wouldn't give, if you have a crush on me, if you like me, if we're doing the thing and you're like, I don't think he's picking up, like clearly sitting down at his feet. Feel free to send me a gif of a peacock, and I'll be like, nailed it. We got this. I know what's going on here. You know, even then I'd probably be like, that is a beautiful bird. Thank you for sharing that meme with me.
Oh, it's because I like ostriches and you like peacocks. It's like Romeo and Juliet situation.
Romeo and Juliet, we're just not meant to be. We're
but like I'm
like, we can't be together because we're not 16, and also I don't want to die. Do you want to?
I'm like Mercutio though. I mean, this is not like I'm just the guy in the middle that's friends with everybody. I got it.
Okay. So here's the thing. I'm a single old guy, right? I'm a single dad guy, and I'm just like, I almost always default to they're just being nice to me, or like like yeah, they're just being nice. So recently, I'll tell you, I'll like I'm just gonna be like, here's this embarrassing bit of like uncertainty. So recently, there's this really cute human person, right? Who like I don't even remember how I started following her on Instagram. I think it was like someone shared one of her posts or something, and I like followed it. But she posts these really funny videos and stuff. So I was like following her, and she's really funny. And then she posted her TikTok, and I was like, oh, cool, she has TikTok. So I was watching her TikToks, and then she stopped posting on TikTok, and I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So I was posting on Instagram, like, because I've been doing stories lately, as if you're on Instagram, but it's basically this, but without Steven to help me. Like it's just this
without it's that without this.
Steven, I need you so bad. Like, you have no idea. I sit there like today you're not feeling well, and I was like, here it comes. Steven's gonna get sick, and I'm gonna talk about Home Alone for 25 minutes, and no one's gonna like it. Everyone's gonna hate my guts, but here we go. But it's like I'm fine, it's fine. But recently, I saw on Instagram that girl posted like a story thing, and it was a funny thing, and I was like, hey, I haven't seen you on TikTok. I was like, you're funny. What happened? And she's like. And so she responded, and she was like, thank you, I appreciate that, blah, blah. And it was, like nothing. It's nothing. It's still nothing, by the way. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because we've spoken like on and off a couple times, and then like Christmas, she sent me a message, like she sent me a picture, is like a Merry Christmas picture, like DM, and I was like, dude, I can't tell you how long my brain just went. What does this mean?
Do I respond? Do I put an elf costume on? What is happening right now?
Like, okay. And here's the thing. Of course, it means nothing. Of course. Like, and yes, part of my brain was like, she probably just sent that to everyone, or I don't know. I don't know how Instagram works. I was like, I don't know. Maybe you can do like a reply all that. I don't know. But I said, so I responded back, and I was like, thank you. I was like, I don't know what made you think of you're sending me something, I was like, but Merry Christmas, thank you so much. And she was like, I just I like to appreciate when people are like kind and really cool to me, and blah blah blah. She said like, she doesn't have a lot of friends in the area and stuff, and I was just like, I have one, and the rest are online, like the rest exist on the internet. But like, it was one of those things where I was like, oh, does this crap, like I don't know
how do I navigate this?
How do I navigate? And like here, I'll tell you how I navigate this, Steven. I do nothing. You do
nothing. You do absolutely nothing.
I'm gonna do absolutely nothing is the thing I'm gonna do. This is my plan. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing and hope she sends me a gif of a peacock. Because no, okay, so and I'll tell you, Steven, how I ruined it already. I'll tell you how I ruined. No,
I was just showing my allegiance to.
Okay, no. Before I tell you how I ruined it, I'm gonna. Uh-oh. So imagine, Steven, that someone said something to you, and like they used the wrong word in a sentence, and you're like, but you know the right word, like if someone was like
someone dropped irregardless in a comment the other day, and I was like, I know it's not correct, but technically is, because it's one of those words that gets used so many times that it becomes correct. But
and it's okay, and like
irregardless, works. Just do regardless,
dude. And so it was one of those things where like she said a thing, and it wasn't okay. And this is what happened. It was a bone apple tea situation where like it's just like you hear a thing and then but you never see it written out. One of those things. So instead of the Uncanny Valley, she said the Cannon Valley.
which kind of works in its own way.
It does, and it does, and so like I responded, and I was like, crap. I mean, like in my head, I
Like
was like,
this face isn't part of the canon of our universe, and this is creeping me out. It does kind of work, you know. I mean, a
yeah,
little bit.
yeah, and I was just like, I get it, and it wasn't a bad one, and it still shows the awareness of the uncanny valley in general. Like she got
Mm-hmm.
it, like she used it properly, just like it was a yeah, cannon valley versus uncanny, and I was just like, I was like, she's obviously a cool, smart, funny person, but my brain is like, what do I do? Do I now adopt this and live in the world in which it's always canon valley, and now that's our thing, and I'm starting this off as a lie because now we both think this. We're gonna bond over the fact that we both think it's canon valley.
So you challenge her to a wrap off, and it doesn't rhyme, and your words are intentionally bad, so she really notices it, and you say like the uncanny X-Men in the uncanny valley, like you just like
Yeah.
underwear straight up.
Ruining Christmas just like Jack, not Sally.
Yes,
There we go.
just
Dude,
like Jack not said. Sally saved Christmas, if
he
we're
did.
honest.
Nailed it. So yeah, dude. So that situation happened. And I was just like, I should probably not say anything, but if I don't say anything, I feel like that. And this is where my brain betrays me every time, dude. I can't because like I'll focus on it and I'll sit there and I'll cycle. And if I don't mention it, I feel like I'm lying or I feel like I'm failing someone. Because then this is what happens to me. It's like seeing someone with like their fly down, like their zipper down, or like you know, or like under like toilet paper on their shoe. Where I'm like, hey, you have toilet paper on your shoe. Like I have to. It's awkward, but I have to say,
Booger in the nose is one of the hard ones because
booger in
it's
the,
like,
dude.
because like how do you explain to them in that 1 second of letting
Yeah,
them know it's there that listen, the booger in your nose does not bother me any. You are a human being who produces mucus in various holes of your body. It
yeah,
happens. But this is going to embarrass you when I tell you this, but it's going to be more embarrassing if I don't tell you this. So
exactly how I feel. Yeah, dude, that's exactly it. And I was like, this sucks for me because I like this person. Like I think she's really cool and cute, and like not that I think I have a chance at anything with that, or like I don't know what that means, but in the world of like you know the life happening and like there is potential for anything that you know that hasn't been dismissed altogether yet, you know what I mean? Like
mm-hmm.
it's like it could happen. It's not a thing that you know I don't want to, I don't want to disregard something that could potentially you know happen, but I feel like in correcting this I was like, oh, I'm just creating the I'm negating it altogether. I'm like, you know, in
Mm-hmm.
doing this I'm probably being like, hey, actually, did you
Yeah.
mean that? You know? And
You
I'm
don't want
like,
to be actually
I don't want to be the
guy.
actually guy, but I'm also like, I can't, I don't know.
So
And
this
it,
like that situation happened to me similarly, but not at all. Like when we first moved into this house, my neighbor Karen, who I love, she's amazing. She must have misheard and she thought Eleanor's name was Rose.
that's her
And
name now.
I didn't, and exactly, I didn't. I'm like, it's my dog. How often is this name going to come up? It's Rose. I'm good. I'm not going to correct her because she's already said it, and I've missed my window to correct it.
Yeah.
So then one day, Eleanor was like barking, and I was like, Eleanor, and like my neighbor was right there, and she's like, and I'm like, ugh.
Eleanor Rose. Eleanor Rose.
Eleanor Rose, get your butt out here right now.
Yeah, you just did the whole thing. She has so many names. You know how it goes. An Eleanor
Sandra
by
Bullock's
any
one
other
of them.
name. You
But
know.
yeah, like because like, what do you do in those situations? Like, I don't care enough about my dog. You
Yeah,
know,
like okay,
if you want to call my dog Rose, it's whatever. Like that's just
yeah,
my dog's name now, I guess. But
yeah, dude. And like for me, it was like I don't think any less of you for saying this, but there's also a part of me that feels like I have the like a responsibility to say something in the
well, I
moment.
mean, Josh thought outfit was outfit
See, there you go. Like
his whole life.
your whole life, and like you can't let someone you care about walk around with a booger in their nose their whole life. You can't. You have to at least be like, hey, buddy, like subtly. Okay. Now here's the thing. I wouldn't have said it publicly. You know, like public. If she wrote that publicly, I would DM and be like, hey, do you know this thing? The crap, this is awkward. And I've done that like with friends with books where I'm like, hey, do you know there, you know, I just want to make sure you know that there's this typo on page 6. I think it's, you know, like, you know, I just if you can fix it, you know, just so you know. And like it's helped. I've helped people, and I'm like, yes, like it feels good, But those weren't people that I was like, oh, you're, a really cute, funny person who lives close to me, and it would be nice to hang out with you sometime. But this person, I did think those things, and now I was like, oh, well, I guess I sabotaged myself real fast with that one. I actually my way out of that situation, but it's probably for the best, Stephen, right? Because I shouldn't be dating, right?
It's gonna happen probably this month, this coming month.
This coming month.
If I know Anthony LaFusi,
Steven, I'm
there's
trying.
gonna be me super supporting him dating somebody in the next month or so.
My favorite
And then be there 6 or 7 months later, just loving on them and telling them it's gonna be okay.
Steven, don't you dare. Don't you do that. I'm trying, Steven. Like the worst thing about that is I'm like, of course that's the situation, It's like until
You
it
don't
works
want it to
out.
be until it happens, until everything is
Yeah, and
glorious.
it's well, I mean, that's the best case scenario, because like I don't want to like all any relationship I've had at all really, but like especially since my son's mom, any relationship I've had where I felt like, oh gosh, I can't overcome this particular thing about us, as like we are incompatible in this one way, whatever it may be. I feel like yeah, there are situations in which there are a lot of things that you're like, oh, I can compromise this, I can do this, and we can work together here and evolve together and adapt and grow. But there are some things with people that like that are literally incompatible, and I think
Literal deal breakers,
yeah,
basically,
it's deal break.
between one another. Yeah.
Exactly, dude. It's just deal break.
You giving this up is gonna hurt you. Me trying to tolerate this is gonna hurt me.
Exactly.
It's just not gonna.
It's not gonna work. And like, I'm at the age now where I'm like, there are deal breakers, especially I have a son. I have to be aware of that stuff and be considerate of those things. So, yeah, it's going to happen. And I'd much rather be self-aware and recognize those things and have that unfortunate situation of like, hey, we have this like probationary relationship period in which we're learning these things. I wish we could learn them faster, but people don't wear like, we don't hand resumes to each other and be like, oh, like, how does your trauma, complement mine? Can we coexist and harmonize in some way, or like, will our trauma like poke each other like so many like porcupines, or broken, shattered pieces of Zords or whatever we are. But yeah, dude, so it's crazy. And like yeah, I know I still have some like pokies sticking out, and I'm hoping I find someone who has some like like appropriate
Complimentary pokies.
Complimentary pokies, is all I'm saying. So it's, it happens.
Did you hear that, everyone? Anthony wants a complimentary poke from
I need a complimentary pokey. I am trying to, of course, like whittle those things down. I think I'm doing an okay job at it. I'm like I've overcome a lot of things and I'm getting through it, but there are always going to be some deal breakers and some things. And like if it takes 6 months to find those things, it sucks, but like that's just the case. And I'm not gonna like yeah, like what are you gonna do? Like eventually, I'd like to imagine that particular cookie will crumble, in my mouth and like differently, but not like that. We'll see. But until then, Stephen, I'm not dating. What I am doing is I'm talking to robots again, Stephen.
Ooh. He is out in the world finding circuitry and metal plates to build his perfect harmony. It is Anthony, and he's dating them robots. Anthony dates robots.
Yes. Steven, that might have been your best. The best performance of that song. Okay, for those of you joining us for the first time, every once in a while, if you exist on the internet at all, you get messages from complete strangers. A lot of those strangers are scammers, just terrible monsters who
99% are Gambian feet sellers.
Yeah, feet. Oh gosh, every time, right? Can't get enough of those Gambian feet, right? Anthony LaFusi. Stephen, any one of these quotes, just put it right on my tombstone, right on there. Just boop. What I want you to do, Stephen, what I want you to do is I want you to take my ashes and put them in the teeniest of urns and release them as a Kickstarter, like on one of your next comic Kickstarters.
It's just
put various quotes from the podcast
and just pieces of you in each urn.
That's right. And I will haunt every single one of you because that's how ghosts work. But every once in a while we get bots and scammers in our DMs, right? Well, instead of just dismissing them or blocking them or never talking to them, I go on numerous dates with them. I try to get them to fall in love with me. I fall in love with them. We make friends. We get together and we do stuff. And Steven, you, as you always support my relationships, you support these endlessly. So will you help me by playing the part of Amanda Cruz?
Oh, and she's active now. Well, at least when this screenshot was taken.
That's right. We were having a real conversation. It's definitely a person and not a scammer trying to get my money and that I don't have. But so just so you know, this is a real conversation with whoever this is that took place. They messaged me on Facebook of all places. So Steven, you're gonna play Amanda Cruz. I'll be me. Go on.
Hello. How are you? Question mark.
Hey, I'm all right. How are you?
I'm fine. Just trying to make friends, and I saw your profile on my Facebook page. So I thought, why don't you add it so we can get to know each other to become friends if you don't mind?
I have one friend. How many are people supposed to have?
Fine, thank you for accepting my friend request, and I would like to make new friends. Where do you live? Totally real person.
Yeah, totally real person who completely responded to the human thing that I said. I live in a crawl space. My friend says it's spacious, and I shouldn't complain.
I live in Damascus, Fluoride. I'm happy to meet you. I work at McDonald's. And you?
I work in the crawl space, doing crawl space things, mostly sorting fingers. My friend collects them and likes them arranged by size and Cheeto type.
Hmm.
Some are crunchy fingers, some are puffy.
Cool. As work. What do you like in your spare time?
I name the spiders and draw faces on stuff my friend keeps in storage. I hope they'll be my friends.
Okay, walks with my friends, have fun with friends, and really like sex in my spare time. You like sex? Oh, this person knows where.
Oh, right away. They're like, oh, you know what always works? Sex. And what I respond with, I'm not sure. Is that the thing you do when you draw a pretty face on your friend's suitcase and then take it out for a nice meal? Is that sex? Because if so, if it is, yes, I do like sex.
Ah ha 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 ha. It is normal. Tell me what you doing right now.
Trying to figure out if this suitcase is flirting with me. It has a flirty face, but I also drew it that way. So I don't know if it's into me or just naturally cute.
Currently, I'm alone in my room and I'm really hot. I want to show you my breasts and my pussy. This is quickly turned into a just to want to go with you if it doesn't bother you.
Listen, I'm not into it, but I'm really going to need you to draw flirty eyes on your breasts. I've been in this crawl space so long. I have needs.
Well, first of all, you have to promise me that it will stay between you and me, that you will not tell it to anyone. You promise me now.
Oh, absolutely not.
You are alone, baby.
I'm going to tell my friend and my other friends with flirty eyes.
Now I call you, now answer my call.
Alone? No, I have Gene and Sean and the other spiders. Oh, I don't have a phone.
What are you talking about?
I don't own a phone. I'm on an ancient laptop crafted by my friend in the year 2014.
Okay, call me.
I can't. I don't have a phone. You're getting really pushy. The lamp never makes demands of me like this. Oh, my friend wants to know more about you. Are your fingers crunchy or puffy?
Okay, I want to see you.
So I send a picture of a creepy guy in a crawl space.
No, call me.
I can only call you from my friend's phone, but only let me use it if your fingers are puffy and spicy. If you had to rate your ring finger on a pepper scale, how many peppers would you say you are?
Okay, bye.
So not spicy? Fine. I appreciate your honesty and hope you could find someone who appreciates your bland, crunchy digits. And then they stop messaging me. Yay! Oh, we need producer Sean for the sound effects.
Yeah, that was almost a cringy copulation halfway through.
Yeah, man, it's so weird. So they stop messaging me. Sometimes they'll just keep it going and like they like to push me and be like, oh, well, what if you answer this call and we have sexy time, or like, oh, what if you get on WhatsApp and we can share information? Like, how about yes, because I'm lonely. I don't know if you heard the previous story that I said, but I'm getting weird over here. No, dude. Oh yeah, I forgot to take my Mr. Burns pin out. Dude, I'm feeling like I hate talking about insecurities so much. Like, okay, obviously you have gorgeous hair and you're beautiful. And you have a lovely and loving wife. But you have insecurities too, right, Steven?
Oh, dude, I have like this like little thinning thing going on like right here, and I'm like, that's it. I'm going bald. It's all over. All my hair is gonna fall out, and I'm gonna have nothing. I'm gonna be just this with no my hair is everything. I'm like Samson over here, and I'm gonna have nothing.
No
There's gonna be
power,
no
zero
glory.
powerless over here. Yeah, dude. Yeah, same, except for it's happening to me. Like same, except for mine isn't just paranoia; it's heredity. It's genetics. No, I'm kidding. I know that's exactly what it is, though. It's like you notice these weird little changes, and it feels like it's it's the slippery slope fallacy. Like it feels indicative of like a worsening future, which of course is just, I mean, a future in general. Just aging in general is you're going to look different, and to you, worse in that you no longer look like the you that you look like in the moment. So it's like it's a struggle, because I'm like, it's hard in the moment to remember that like the actors, like a lot of actors that we see and we're like, oh yeah, that's a handsome man, or that's a beautiful woman, or whatever it may be. Those people, we saw them for the first time when they were 45. Like a lot
Yeah.
of those people, it's like, oh, we saw like the guys, you see them and they have like hairlines that aren't like perfectly across or whatever, but like Ryan Reynolds is a good example of that, where like he has like a whole like temple hairline thing going on, but he's a super like good looking dude, and like people, but when I think of that happening to me, I'm like, I'm dying. Here I go. This is it. My
This
hair
is
is
the end
like,
of
this is
everything.
the end of everything. And like, what am I going to be? And like, I immediately go to like, I have to shave my head now. And I'm like, I don't want to shave my head. And like, why am I saying I have to shave my head? And like, I still have hair. It's like, I definitely have more hair today than I will next year.
Yeah. Why would I shave it now? Why would I?
Yeah, like what am I doing? I might as well, I'm gonna enjoy this while I have it, and like I need to appreciate it while it's here. But it's just so frustrating because it's one of those things that as a society we don't really talk about. Like people have made jokes about it, and we're supposed to not care at all, and that's the cool thing to do, is like, I don't care what I look like. But like, no, it's a huge change, and it's traumatic to go through, because it is like indicative of your a death and your death, so it's like it's the death of the ego that you see in yourself. You're like, I see myself a certain way. Like if I were to draw myself, I would draw myself with hair, and then like whenever as it changes, I'm like, oh shoot, how do I have to job I have to
I
change
could
how
do
it's
less
drawn.
hair.
I have to do it less hair, and like I think about that all the time. And like it's just interesting, like how we see ourselves versus how we're going to see ourselves in the future, and how other people see us and how they see us when they first meet us. Like I think about that with my facial hair a lot, because like I never have a solid facial hair. Like I always just gonna have like a scruff, or like like I'll just get lazy and not shave. But what happens is I naturally have more of a goatee situation, but I hate that. But like every once in a while it'll occur to me, and I'll be like, oh no, everyone who saw me for the first time today just sees me as goatee man. Like I'm a goatee guy, and I don't
Like
want
I
to be
saw
that.
I saw Stephen Strange today. It was wild. He was just
Yeah, it's like I'm not trying to be Tony Stark over here. I would love to be Tony Stark, but I don't want the like cha 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 cha. Like I don't want the cha cha cha. But like it's funny because I don't have the oh my god, what's the guy from 40-Year-Old Virgin? He's like, what, you think this is an accident? This was premeditated, like that. I
premeditated
don't I
partner.
don't I don't have that either. I'm just like I trim my face with with my shaver. I'm like, ugh. Like you have like a cool beard. I can't
Mine's
mid. Well, I mean, you.
Jamantha's beard.
Oh yeah, I mean that's nice.
Glorious.
And I think that's part of it, is like we we're online, and as much as there everyone has their own body issues, and like I get to be like this weird like noodly person. And now, by the way, Steven, I'm like, oh no, I can no longer really feel abs, which I know sounds like, oh, the world's smallest violin, but I'm like, oh god, I have no definition in my body anymore. This is so weird for me, because I've never felt that way.
Anthony has reached the thickening.
Yeah, the beginning. And like, so, but of course what happens to me is I'm like, oh no, it's happening. I no longer have an ab. Like before it was like, oh, if I could tighten and feel an ab, I feel good. Like I'm okay. I'm okay.
He's not gonna drink any water today, and I'm gonna have a set of abs,
Oh,
but
yeah.
by midnight,
Yeah, it's gonna be sick. But dude, so like what happens to me is like, yeah, I feel that, and then suddenly I'm like, I'm gonna work out. And then like today, like this morning, I was like, I'm doing these crunches, and I'm like, not a single ab has popped up to say hello. Like how rude of them. All they had to do was just give one little wave, just like one little like
just lie to me, Jerry.
I mean, like any indication that like there's growth there. But it's like I know, of course I know. I'm fully aware that it's it's gonna happen tomorrow, not today. I don't.
Everyone knows abs pop out on Wednesdays.
It's always Wednesdays. No, it's funny though, because like I think that's part of it. is it's like the because there's nothing you can do about most of this stuff. It's all just like, oh, I don't know, it's just part of life, you know. So like we don't talk about it because it ends up in like just a bunch of platitudes and people saying like you should just be happy with what you are or whatever it is. And it's just like, yeah, but that doesn't stop me from being like feeling these things while I'm getting to that place. And if you know, it's like life is destination and journey. I'm talking about the journey right now. So I'm talking about how it sucks to get to that
In
place.
between the metamorphosis. Like I think this
Yeah.
is what it is. Cause I mean, it was weird. There was like that brief period when I was like 30 where I was feeling it. But then I'm like looking back now, I'm like, man, like 32 to like 35 were some golden years of like peak like energy. Well, not energy, but like I
Yeah.
liked every like I like things about myself. And now I'm like, oh, everything is slipping into the void. But like I don't know. I'm sure this is just the next transition period, and then I'll be happy with what this transition is until I hit the next transition
Yeah.
period. And
Yeah, and like you know, and everything is kind of like that right now for me. And you know, and like I feel like it might also you know, because we're in this weird middle realm of our comic too. You know, like
Mhm.
we're working on issue 3, which is the center of the comic, basically. You know, like we literally are like we're in the hump phase of the comic. And so I feel like once we get over this hill, we're gonna probably start feeling that ambition a little bit more, and also just a little bit more fulfilled as we reach the end of this thing. You know, because working on Play It Again, we went through the whole journey, but it was complete and it had that moment of like fulfillment where
Story is told.
yeah, exactly. The story's told, everything's done. We freaking did it. We achieved, you know, like apotheosis. Like we're at the end. We did everything we wanted to do. We are the freaking, you know, we're victories. We are the heroes of this thing we're doing. But then of course we have to start that hero's journey again. But
Mm.
this time we chose a longer, more circuitous path. You know, like we're doing a longer story. We're telling a thing that has wider arc. You know, like wider arc. So it's going to be more, you know, more of a challenge to get there. It's going to be like an arduous, heroic task.
Which
But
will end with a graphic novel, which is cool.
yeah. Exactly, dude. And I think because of that, it's going to end with a more fulfilling, more hearty, you know, ending where it's like, you know, we're both going to feel that, and get that like rain of HP, you know,
Mhm.
like, you know,
Ah.
it's just, I mean, it's dopamine, but like, it's still going to feel like HP. We're like,
Mhm.
haha, we're leveling up. We got this, you know, just like all those experience points are going to shower us and we're going to like, our characters are going to evolve. And I'm excited for that. It's happening though. It's you know, like you're working on issue 3. Now that we're heading into the new year, I don't want to do like resolutions this episode. We'll talk next episode. We'll talk about like what
Next
we're
episode's perfect because it's the third, I think, was
yeah.
when the next one will air. So
Yeah, we'll talk about that. That way we'll get through everything. We'll talk about you know, we'll talk about our resolutions and exactly like what we hope to achieve and what we think we really will achieve and all that. One last thing before we go, Stephen.
mhm.
Before we go, just because the only people listening right now are going to be people who like don't mind listening to us ramble about stuff. Stephen, will you tell me your thoughts on Home Alone parents?
Oof. So I don't know how it happens personally, because there is literally never a situation where I would forget Chase or
No,
I would forget Cambria. It
nope.
just wouldn't happen.
You know the weirdest thing? The weirdest thing for me, okay, is most of those kids weren't their kids.
Yeah. So they only have to account for those kids. Like,
Like
why weren't they accounting for their own?
account for your own kid. Like okay.
Now, don't get me wrong. The writing of the movie did a really good job at
Oh
securing her.
yes,
Like
especially no.
the alarms being shut off because of the power. They're late. They're running late. You know, she counts the head of the neighbor kid while she's
Yep.
counting all the boys and girls. And there's a lot of factors that come into play. Like they do a good job at like really trying to cover their tracks.
Okay,
But
you're completely right about the first movie. Do you
oh,
remember the second movie?
I actually don't remember like how they forget about the second. They just lose him at the airport, right? Like
Just
middle of the
lose them
airport.
at the airport. And then, dude, okay, they do. Now, here's the thing: they do a good job at covering how Kevin follows the wrong person, like because he has the same jacket. I've done that. I did that in a flea market with my mom. I remember I was watching my mom's purse, and I was watching it. I'm walking, which by the way, as a parent, I never just let my kid like duckling behind me in a public place like that. I don't like.
No
I'm just like
way.
be next to me
I
in
have a
front of
hand,
me.
or you're in front of
Yeah,
me.
yeah, like that's next to me in front of me. Like this is he's usually my son's just next to me with my hand. But dude, I did that happened to me in a flea market. So I was watching my mom's purse. Suddenly, I'm watching a purse I'm following forever, and then lady stops and I run into the person. I look up and I look at the person. I look at this person. It's not my mom. And I was like, and
I'm
I am
lost.
very lost. And I was a child, like baby, like little child. And I like sat down in the flea market and just like sat there. And then like eventually my parents came and found me. I was just like, oh my God. And they were freaking out. They're like, oh my God. You know, I didn't have an adventure in New York. But okay. So Kevin follows the wrong dad, like the wrong guy. Which by the way, he should have just gone with that guy. He would have been way better off. Like any family would have been better for Kevin.
Any family could take care of you better.
So
we forgot him again.
dude, so the mom, like the mom and dad, right? The mom and dad are like, yeah, we accounted for everyone. We're all good. They're all back there. Okay, this is only 1 year after the last thing. It's only 1 year later. Like, are you telling me after something that traumatic, that insane that happened, you wouldn't 100% be traumatized?
This kid spent back-to-back Christmases alone.
Yeah, because of your negligence. And like dude, one of the craziest things in the movie, by the way, is the mom. Okay, the mom straight up gaslights Kevin in the beginning. Like it's so funny. It's so funny to watch because she's like, because we just watched Home Alone, right? And then like 2 days later, we're like Christmas Day, we were watching Home Alone 2. Or no, I'm sorry, Christmas Eve, we were watching Home Alone 2. And dude, she goes in the kitchen, like she talks to Kevin, and he's just like, oh, well, everyone treats me like crap. And she's like, that is not what happened. People don't treat you like crap. People didn't treat you like crap last year, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay. And then he storms off. And I'm like, everyone in Home Alone treats Kevin like crap. Like if you watch Home Alone 1,
crap.
everyone treats him like garbage. Everyone, even his mom, everyone treats him like garbage in that movie. And then when they leave, he celebrates their absence.
That's like, how much he hates all of them because of how they treat him.
Yeah, dude, she acts like, no, that never happened. That wasn't a big deal. Like, you need to stop it.
Buzz literally ate his cheese pizza and then vomited it onto a plate for him, or offered to vomit it onto a plate.
Dude, I like everyone was so terrible to him. And then in the second one, she acts like it never happened. She's just like, that didn't happen. That's not what happened last year. Like, that's exactly what happened last year. Everyone was mean to him, and then you abandoned him because you don't care about him at all. And then you were going to Florida. Why? Also, they don't ever really explain that. They're never like, hey, this is why this giant rich family is all going to Florida for Christmas. Like, I'm with Kevin 100%. I live in Florida. What are you doing? Why would you choose Florida?
New York. Like from New
No,
he takes the wrong place. They're in Chicago or something.
Yeah, they're in Chicago or something. Yeah. And like, yeah, exactly. But like they're in a snowy, nice area that screams of Christmas. And they go to freaking Florida. Kevin made the better choice. They're like, yeah, go to New York. You get the snow and all the, you
get the tree and the Times Square and the shopping and
dude, it's so insane. But yeah, dude, I couldn't get enough of the parents in Home Alone 2 because everything they do is wrong. And then they finally get to New York and she continues to blame everyone but herself. She's just like, how could you let a child stay at this hotel? And like Tim Curry's like, well, he had a convincing story, and she's like, I don't want to hear this. Like, you lost your child. This is like your fault. Like,
you should be thanking this hotel for accepting his credit card.
100%. Like, it's just like the whole thing. I mean, yeah, Tim Curry's character is also absurd, but it's a kids movie. What are you gonna do? The parents are so bad. They're such bad parents in general. I can't. I mean, good for him. He's going to grow up rich, though. And he's probably going to kill his parents and inherit that money. Like, it's going to be great.
American Psycho was actually supposed to be Kevin McAllister.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. Like, he's going to, like, I think that everyone knows he's going to grow up to be like a Jigsaw type character, right? Where he, but
let's play the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of cool in the second one that he chooses to go where he knows the bad guys are going to be and sets up all the booby traps knowing they're going to go there, and it's not even his place. He's just like, I'm going to go and do the right thing because the crazy bird lady.
He's like a vigilante at this point.
That's what he is.
He's basically the Riddler but a good guy.
He's the Riddler but a good guy. That's exactly what it is. He's like, yeah, it's the Saw situation if he were Batman, which is the Riddler, right? Like that's the whole. It's good Riddler. All right, we should probably get out of here. But yeah, if you haven't watched Home Alone 2 recently, go watch it and you tell me what you think of the parents because oh my gosh, Steven, what are you gonna do this week?
I'm actually going to start progressing on the comic. Definitely go full force into the new year, but I do want to start like at least getting some roughs on the pages done. So
Yes, dude. I'm going to start like in earnest, like writing issue 4, because there's nothing else for me to do with issue 3 at this point. I mean, I can go back and kind of like tweak things, because there are some dialogue things that I want to add little bits to, but I also know I'll have plenty of time, because nothing as far as the panels will change, so I'll have plenty of time to add to that. And I always end up doing, when I'm lettering anyway, I fix that stuff up a little bit,
you see like the formatting and like what you can add or subtract to make it pop more.
Exactly, dude. And like it's really cool. And I know we're going to have plenty of space in this particular issue for like exploring the dialogue, because it's a lot of talking in this one. Like there are some fun action pieces, and there's some things that I think will sell the book for a lot of people in a fun way, but it is a conversational issue more than anything else.
A lore builder, but there's definitely still action in it.
Yeah. I think it's going to be good. But I'm going to start writing issue 4, which will be probably one of our action heavy.
Just over the top chaos.
It's going to be over the top chaos for sure. And I can't wait. I'm so excited for it. But thank you all for listening. If you're only listening to one of the various podcasting apps, thank you. Thank you for checking us out on Spotify or whatever else. But please go to youtube.com/We Have Issues podcast and follow us and subscribe there and comment and, like all the videos and help us out. We're trying to build this colony and, get it to wherever we can. So tell your friends, tell your grandparents, tell your enemies, tell everyone you know. If we probably no, we're gonna see we won't see you until after New Year. So have a happy New Year. But know we love you, and we're gonna talk to you in the very beginning of the year. Stephen, what would you like to say to the people?
Thank you all so much for continuously supporting, loving us, sending us ostrich eggs. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
I actually bleached mine, and it's back there.
Oh my gosh, so
Blackula,
cool.
all praise. But thank you all for just being like the most amazing friends that we've met in an online space, especially. But like, just so thankful for each and every one of you, and I hope you all had wonderful holidays, and I hope you have an amazing new year. And we're gonna get this comic done and going, so that way you can keep reading this story.
Yes,
love you guys.
Exactly. Thank you so much. We really do love you. You're just so happy to have you. If you made it this far, you're the greatest, and I hope you know that we love you more than we love anyone else. But I'm Anthony.
I'm Stevie Wildcard.
This has been We Have Issues. We'll see you next time.
Boom! What's up, dude?
What's up? You're feeling sick, huh?
Yeah, and it's like it's the early stages stuff. Like I can just tell. Like one of my biggest tells is like when I want to take a bath instead of a shower. Like if I'm like, I want hot water on my skin. I must be
dying or an alien. Something's going on here.
Yeah. If I'm craving this over the easier of the two options, then there's something wrong.
Yeah, like, I love when like we're self-aware and that stuff, but we still want to like avoid it somehow. Like, no, maybe I just needed a bath. It was just like a sweet thing that I did for me. Like this morning, I'll tell you, like,
lie to me, Jerry.
Like, yeah. Like, I mean, we'll talk about it on the show too, but like I've been feeling like I don't even feel old, or like I don't feel like I'm getting run down, but like when I look at myself, I'm like, oh, I'm starting to look. I notice it. Like, you notice yourself. So I'm like, oh God, oh no, my hair, my eyes are a little older now. Like I'm a little, oh God, oh no.
It's happening.
It's happening, So then like I'm in the shower this morning and I was like, I did hear that in the last like minute of your shower, if you switch to a cold shower, it's good for you and it invigorates things. I was like, yeah, I can do this. I can will myself to, oh God, why am I doing this? The worst.
This is miserable. Every joy I felt in that hot water is immediately removed.
It's immediately removed. Like I've now completely like yeah, sure, I might keep some of my hair, but at what cost?
Is it worth it?
It's not worth it. I'd rather I want to be like, I'll be bald.
I'll be Costanza. It's totally fine.
Like, oh my God, dude. I was like, I'm gonna go from Jerry to Costanza. Real fast. No, but yeah, so I don't know. But it's funny, like, and you find yourself in the bath and you're just like, yeah, this probably means I'm sick, or
treat
yourself. Like,